I was hearing screaming. I was also hearing the dog barking. And I was like, what the hell is going on downstairs?
The Knoefel family was picture perfect. 3 daughters, a gorgeous home, and a happy marriage. The traditional American dream was being lived by them. Due to Lisa Knoefels' strong desire to help others wherever she could, one of their daughters even served as a foster child. Many individuals wished they could switch places with the Knoefel family because of the ideal life they had created. At least until November 16, 2012, when the flawless facade started to crumble. Nobody ever considered wanting to be in their shoes again after the awful events that tore this family apart took place. In the suburbs of Cleveland, Sabrina Zunick and her parents, Mark Zunick and Susan Edwards, shared a home when she was born in 1994. However, Mark and Susan struggled, and despite their best efforts, they were unable to provide Sabrina with a happy life. The drug problems of Sabrina's parents surfaced when she was 3 years old. They were using heavy drugs, and they frequently committed theft to pay for their addiction. They first made every effort to lead a relatively regular life, but with each new high, their worries for their young daughter increased, as did their desire to go high once more. Mark and Susan moved Sabrina to live with her grandma since they were aware of how perilous the situation was. They were confident that she would receive excellent care there, which was not the case if Sabrina had stayed with them. And they were right. The grandmother of Sabrina was a strict yet kind individual who gave her granddaughter a lot of attention. But as time passed, she grew increasingly impatient with the rebellious young woman. She wasn't getting any younger, and she also failed to prevent Sabrina from following in her parents' ways. She first got into tiny confrontations at school that escalated into full-fledged physical altercations. While her grandmother could still handle it, Sabrina's behavior changed significantly as she approached puberty. She started using drugs and drinking alcohol at the age of 13. Her grandmother's attempts to stop her always resulted in violent outbursts. When Sabrina's attempts to take money from her grandma failed, she intimidated and robbed strangers. She even had to spend some time in juvie because she was caught doing it several times. But as soon as she was back on the streets, she relapsed into self-destructive behavior. When Sabrina was 14 years old, her grandmother in Lake County, Ohio, decided she could no longer care for the teenager and placed her in the foster care system. It was discovered during a psychological assessment that Sabrina had bipolar illness, ADHD, and depression. Sabrina had been living in foster care for almost 2 years when the Knoefels indicated a wish to open their home to the 16-year-old disturbed girl and take her in July 2011. Lisa and Kevin Knoefel had been married for a number of years. From their prior marriages, both had brought children into the partnership. Megan, Lisa's elder daughter, resided with them. They eventually gave birth to a daughter called Haley. Haley was about 2 years old when Sabrina joined the family. Kevin worked as a truck driver, while Lisa was a social worker with a focus on sex assault victims. She was committed to improve the life of a youngster from a group home because of her occupation, her empathetic attitude, and her love for people. Sabrina was also intended to be the fortunate one. Sabrina even appeared to have realized that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity because she moderated her rebellious behavior around Lisa and Kevin. She stopped using drugs and began to envision a career as an esthetician. She later stated herself, "I was looking for a fresh start and leave the past behind. I wanted to live in a house with a white picket fence and have dinner with my siblings every night, something that I never had before. I wanted to experience the structure of a loving family." At first, everything went perfect. Exactly how the Knoefels had envisioned it. With her new siblings, Sabrina got along fine, but she also began to form relationships with Kevin and Lisa. When Sabrina overstepped the mark, Lisa would impose limits, but she would also spend time with her and engage in activities with her, like taking her on short excursions. All this was new to Sabrina. She previously stated, "My relationship with Lisa started off good. We spent a lot of time together. We swam in the pool in the backyard. I felt like a part of the family. Sabrina wanted to be a part of the family the most, and this desire is what first sparked her conflicts with her adoptive family. She began to believe Lisa treated her two biological daughters better than she did over the course of the following few months. A feeling probably shared by many adopted youngsters. Sabrina and Lisa had numerous arguments as a result of this. Sabrina grew increasingly estranged from her foster mother as they continued to argue vehemently and hurl unjust words at one another. Due to his job as a truck driver, Kevin was rarely around and subsequently didn't notice much of the bickering. The times he did notice, he would often side with Sabrina, which caused a lot of conflict in his marriage with Lisa. Over time, this made the bond between Kevin and Sabrina stronger, and with him she felt she was understood. He was my friend and my father. Kevin was there to lift me up. He never judged me and always gave me the feeling to be wanted, she said. Oddly, loving the attention, Kevin began to neglect his marriage more and more. Kevin disregarded Lisa a lot when she would mention the constant fights with Sabrina. This caused more strain on their marriage. He would tell Lisa to stop being so strict with her, and that he understood the reasons Sabrina would distance herself. One thing Lisa grew more frustrated about was the fact, over time Sabrina managed to assume a mother role to the youngest daughter, Haley, in some sort of sense of trying to replace Lisa's role. Tensions grew, and Lisa wrote a text message to Kevin stating to reduce contact with Sabrina and spend more time with his real family. November 16, 2012. The local police received a disturbing call at 1:15 a.m.
Was an emergency. You need to get off the radio, Julius. What is going on? Who had the knife?
My sister, and I just woke up because I was yelling.
2520 Chagrin Drive. I need units bed. 2518 Chagrin Drive. I have a female yelling on the phone. Someone else has a knife. Okay, this is your sister?
Yeah, and she's doing my mom with a knife. Will you please tell me?
She's doing what to your mom with the knife? You need to take a deep breath for me so I can understand you.
No, I did. I'm going to tell you. My mom did the knife, please.
2518 Chagrin. I'm going to try and look up a history. What, does your sister still have the knife?
Yeah.
And what is going on there?
I don't know. I just woke up.
Okay, who am I talking to now?
Her daughter.
Okay, and what's going on there? Who has the knife?
My sister.
Okay, does she still have
Hey,
it?
Mom? Okay? What happened?
What's going on? Hold on. You're going to have to take a deep breath. I cannot understand you. Why is your mom going to die? What happened?
I don't know.
Is someone hurt?
She's still stabbing my mom.
She stabbed your mom?
Yeah.
Please, 2518 Chagrin Drive. I have a female with stab wounds. Attention. No ambulance is needed. 2518 Chagrin Drive for a female with stab wounds. Totally holds fire. Clear at 118. Is she breathing at all? You gotta take a deep breath for it. Where's your sister at? Sounds like she's still in the house now. All I got was the sister has a knife. Where is your sister? Where is your sister? Well, I got everyone looking to you, honey. Where is your sister?
On the phone you can hear Megan, Lisa's daughter who was age 13 at the time, crying uncontrollably. Only moments before, her mother's screams had woken her up. She hurried to her room and discovered Sabrina kneeling over her mother's body as she repeatedly stabbed her with a knife. She had made unsuccessful attempts to stop her. She cried and begged for Sabrina to stop during the phone call several times. "She is stabbing my mother with a knife and hitting her," My sister! She is trying to kill my mother! Police were at the scene quickly. But it was already too late when Megan opened the door for them. Lisa was no more. Blood was all over her bedroom. When the police arrived, the first cop to enter the door, Randy Mullinax, made the following statement about what he saw. I wasn't even able to see what color her body was. That's how much blood was all over her. Sabrina used a knife to stab her foster mother 178 times in order to kill her. Sabrina was 18 years old and Lisa was 41 at the time. The fact that Lisa's 3-year-old daughter Haley was sleeping in her mother's bed when the stabbing began is the most startling aspect of the crime. Lisa was attacked by Sabrina, and the young girl hid in the closet. She watched as her foster sister, who had come to act as a sort of surrogate mother to her, stabbed her birth mother a total of 178 times while she was in the room throughout the entire attack. When the police tried to arrest Sabrina, she did not resist. While giving the cops the knife, she sobbed quietly. As one of them described her appearance, she appeared to have taken a literal blood shower. Her foster mother's blood was all over her body, down to the last cell. Of course, Kevin was informed right away by the authorities. He was traveling for work and operating his truck in the state of Michigan. He instantly turned around, but due to the distance he had to go to return to his hometown, it took him till 5 a.m. before he arrived at home. At the police station, Megan and Haley were waiting for him. When he came, the police officers saw that he created a cool, collected impression. However, they did not think too much of it at the time, as they suspected he was just putting on a brave face for his kids. But even Lisa's friends found Kevin's behavior odd. It was obvious Kevin hadn't committed this crime, as he had left for work hours prior to the murder, which served as his alibi. Sabrina's trial started. On the stand, she said she was unable to recall any details of the crime. As there was no doubt she committed the murder, she was sentenced to a life sentence. 9 months later, Sabrina has decided to change her version of events. Oddly, she decided to tell the truth of what had happened that day. She began her statement, and the facts she gave were shocking. As mentioned earlier, her relationship grew closer to Kevin, and this was partly as she was constantly arguing with Lisa. They got closer and closer, eventually coming to a physical affair. She explained she had never felt this sort of bond with anyone else. She felt appreciated and valued. She said Kevin had mentioned repeatedly how much he hated Lisa and that she had to go away. Basically, manipulating Sabrina by saying once Lisa's gone, he would purchase a new home for them and live like a happy family. Shockingly, also promising her that she would be Haley's one and only mother figure. At first, this was just a tempting fantasy. But 2 weeks before the murder occurred, Lisa had her doubts about the pair. She even wanted to kick Sabrina out of the house. Sabrina recalled the conversion. She said, "I am sorry, but I no longer want you here." But somehow the family pulled through these times. November 15, 2012. Kevin took Sabrina to school and told her about an altercation with Lisa, and he couldn't take it anymore, leaving her with an ultimatum: either he takes his own life or Lisa dies. Sabrina did not want to lose Kevin and tried to calm him down, promising him that she will kill Lisa and set him free. Kevin then gave her instructions on how to do so. The plan given was to make it look like a break-in gone wrong. She was supposed to act oblivious after. If she was caught, she was supposed to plead insanity. Supposedly, Kevin also chose the kitchen knife, and even showed her how to stab someone. She even chose a night where Kevin was away for work so that he had an alibi. Now regretting the crime, Sabrina said, "If you are in love with someone, you do anything for that person." She stated she spent 15 minutes just standing in front of sleeping Lisa before plucking up the courage to commit such a brutal crime. "I hated Lisa because she was the cause of a lot of my past problems. But it's not all my fault. Now I am ready to take the responsibility, because I did what I did, and I know that I am wrong for it. If it wasn't for Kevin, none of this would have happened." Finally, the police had evidence to convict Kevin. He also collected $750,000 from his wife's life insurance, which he purchased a new car and other luxury items. August 2013. Kevin Knoefel was arrested. Fast forward to June 11, 2014. He was also sentenced to a life in prison. He continued to maintain his innocence until the end and denied any affair with Sabrina, even though there was plenty of text message evidence proving otherwise. Even though Sabrina finally told the truth, her sentence wasn't changed. However, as she testified against Kevin, she was now eligible for parole after serving 30 years, whereas Kevin needed to serve 40 years. For Sabrina, this would be in 2042 at the age of 47, and in Kevin's case in 2055 at the age of 86 years old. The two children, Megan and Haley, were awarded $6.2 million in damages. However, the emotional scars will never disappear.